A 4-1 Calgary Flames win in Game 4 now evens their series up with the Dallas Stars alongside Aaron Ward and Dennis Bernstein. Our coverage here on the fourth period, our playoff coverage, is brought to you by Bitbuy. Aaron, let's jump right into it. And in Game 4, the Flames really took it to the Stars, didn't they?
Yeah, I wouldn't say the Calgary Flames finally respected their opponent, but they recognize who they are. They didn't come to kind of lay up 4 games, be happy they made the playoffs and move on. I think they recognize that Dallas is a veteran group of guys led by Bonus, and he's kind of dictated to this group that they've got to be really patient when playing the Calgary Flames. You're not going to outgun the Calgary Flames. What you've got to do is play very tactically sound, discipline, and be very, very patient. I think tonight what happened was Calgary Flames played the exact Dallas Stars style game. They played a solid road game. They respected them. They were patient. They waited for Dallas to make some mistakes. It wasn't really a free-flowing game, but for like 3 minutes of the second period. And finally, when Calgary got their opportunities against an Ottinger in net, who was just, again, stellar through the whole process, they capitalized on their opportunities and really didn't give Dallas much of anything until the end of the game.
Yeah, with that said, it was 1-0 until a penalty shot. Like, Calgary is not finishing. They got some goals late in the game. But to me, if I'm Edmonton or Los Angeles, I'm pointing at the series, assuming Calgary goes through, I'm saying, we can beat this team. There's just not enough offense for me. For a team that was so gifted and had such depth, and you brought in Tarlo Toffoli at the trade deadline, and Mangiapane, who had 30 goals, is now on the fourth line. To me, yeah, look, over 50 shots, that's impressive. But winning the way they won, and you're right, Aaron, they had to win this way, but that doesn't look like a dangerous team to me at all. I think they win this round, but then after that, I think it's 50-50 if they get through the second round, even if they get past Dallas at this point.
I think the consideration for Calgary is this, is that you've got a group of guys that just aren't producing. I mean, Toffoli had a great opportunity early, and Ottinger took it away right on the doorstep.
Yeah.
Gaudreau getting called out by Sutter was maybe possibly a good thing, but you got to look around and say, where is the rest of the help? Tkachuk is doing his normal kind of abrasive sandpaper personality on the ice, but he's not nearly as effective as you'd want him to be in the playoffs. And I'm even searching in my mind right now for names to even mention that have to step up, and they're almost invisible out there. I don't know if it's a fact that Calgary just isn't producing or it's the Dallas Stars neutralizing, because truth be told, coming into this game, Dallas was number 1 in the National Hockey League in not giving up man advantage rushes against, and they also were number 1 in save percentage in shots from the key or from home plate. The really dangerous shots. They've been doing an outstanding job. So the question is it Calgary that's just not stepping up and playing, or is it Dallas is effectively shutting them down by being patient and frustrating a Calgary team? The fight that happened between help me here, Tkachuk and Klingberg, sorry, was for me the early moment of the series that kind of sent a message that Dallas stepped up, showed face, engaged, but really essentially established a level of discipline and basically ignored what you would expect Calgary to be identity-wise on the ice. They've made it a game, not a kind of a pissing match back and forth, a lot of stuff in the corners. Calgary is having to engage in consistently playing the hockey game itself and no sidebar circus antics.
Aaron, it's 2-2 now. I know the scoreline was 4-1 in that game, but if you're in that room talking, what's your message if you're Rick Bowness to that team?
Well, it's 2-2. That's the best part about it. I mean, Everybody looked at this matchup. When it came down to Calgary and Dallas, everybody assumed it was basically when you're packing your bags from Dallas, you're prepping for your next series. That's not the case. This is a team that was given virtually no chance by so many people out there, me included. Now you're going back to Calgary, and there's that little psychological element that occurs when you start to think to yourself, good Lord, we're down to a 3-game series. And for Dallas, they're like, we're playing with house money. No one expected us to be here. The pressure is in Calgary still. I don't care if you won on the road in Dallas. You have to go home and show in Calgary. You have to win 2 games in the next 3. It's proven to be pretty tough currently. So I'm telling you, the relaxed feel of playing in the playoffs, not worrying about what the opponent's doing, that sits in the Dallas locker room. The Calgary locker room has to reflect, look in the mirror, and figure out what is Dallas doing, but more importantly, why are we not showing up? What is going wrong for us? I mean, Dallas has basically cut their lineup down to 2.5 lines. I mean, Radulov barely saw the ice tonight. Calgary's trying to roll, trying to establish their identity, and it's just not coming very easily.
Yeah, and for Dallas, remember, they beat them in the bubble. So they're not intimidated by this team, number one. Number two, Hintz and Robertson have one goal between them in 4 games. So if I'm Rick Bowness, I'm saying, well, look, we've done nothing offensively, and we're 2-2 best of three against a team that has trouble scoring against us. So if I'm Dallas, I'm optimistic. I got a puncher's chance. We're the underdogs. Nobody's giving us a shot to start the series, but now we're here 2-2 with our two big guns not scoring. So I think Dallas is going in really optimistic to Calgary because Calgary has proven that even though they dominate puck possession, they get a lot of shots on goal, they're just not finishing in the series.
Dallas also proven themselves in these 4 games that they can play tight games. And that's a key mental component to winning in the playoffs, is the certainty that if you have to dig in, you're still part of this game. And Dallas is doing an incredible job at, listen, we're not kidding ourselves. Ottinger is the main reason. This guy is lights out ridiculous. He's making a name for himself. And if I'm Calgary right now, one of the other factors for me is when I'm playing an all-star goalie, I think about my preparation for the Stanley Cup Finals or the playoffs, whatever. We get a list of the players. They dissect down to like if the guy sleeps 3 hours versus 4 pregame, what he eats. You know everything about him. Now all of a sudden you got a young guy who you don't know much about. I'd rather know that I'm coming into a game trying to beat a Patrick Roy, a guy that you know what he's like and you just got to bear down, than a Cam Ward, a guy that you really don't know a lot about and you're searching for answers and it's not coming easy.
Gentlemen, great stuff as always. Deuces Wild in another series that's heading back to Alberta for Game 5.